Hey there PCAers, Gividen here from PCA headquarters. I'd like to introduce Ron Gividen from Escort Radar Detectors. He's calling in live from the floor of the Specialty Equipment Manufacturer Association's annual convention in Las Vegas. He's called in today to share with us some exciting company news. Ron, thanks again for calling in.
You are most welcome. Your listeners are typically early adopters and get and understand completely the value of good radar and laser ticket protection technology.
Tell me a little bit about Escort Live.
Escort Live takes the entire the nation's cell phone backbone network and allows us with some Bluetooth technology to replace your current Escort and Select Beltronics model radar detector power cords. You swap the power cord, download a smartphone app, put those two together, and now it allows you, your listeners, myself, all of our radar detectors to begin to share live alerts in real time, as well as our own individual observations entirely across the network. And what that simply means is this. I go down to my vehicle. Before I even leave the parking lot, I look up on the screen on my smartphone, and Escort Live is going to let me know that 3, 5, 10 miles down the road on my route, there has been a laser gun being operated within the last 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes. Doesn't really matter. It's all there on the network.
Wow, that's some pretty powerful technology. So tell me, how exactly does it integrate with the phone, and what other additional features does the phone, or being connected to the phone, present to the users?
Well, it's very simple. The phone is already connected to the cell network, and we just simply tap into the app that you're going to download for free, put on your iPhone or Android newer platform phones, and you can go to our website to find out which particular platforms are supported. We don't go all the way back to the beginning of iPhone, of course, but within the last several generations, and the same for Droid. When you download the app, and then you replace the power cord with the Smart Cord Live cord, our radar detector's plugged into the cord. It begins to see KA, laser, XK, whatever you decide to tell the system. It passes that information to your smartphone via Bluetooth. Then the smartphone app simply passes that up to the cloud. Then through the cloud, all other users in a particular given area at that relevant time will see these alerts pop up on their map screen or pop up on their dashboard as appropriate, depending on how fast they're driving and what the range is that they have self-selected to be alerted for that particular threat upcoming on their path.
Now,
so you control the distance at which you'd like to be notified for those alerts.
Interesting. Now, with all that data that's being passed from the cloud to the detector through the cell phone network, what's the data usage like?
The backbone carriers have told us the word that has been used more than once is the difference between operating with Smart Cord and Escort Live or not. For the data plans, the difference is, quote, negligible.
That's good to know when a lot of us pay our cell phone based on data usage. So to know that it's negligible, I'm sure that's pretty attractive. So you had mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if you hit that point, but a lot of the PCA members already have passport radar detectors, and how would this upgrade and bring their detectors to the latest technology?
That is a great question, Drew. The good news is for everyone listening. First of all, if you have a radar detector, one of our later model radar, the X50 series, the IX series, Redline series, and a couple of select models, all the Pro series on the Beltronics side. If you're the owner of one of those detectors and you have an applicable smartphone, you're ready to go with the simple addition of the power cord. Now, we call that Bluetooth-enabled power cord Smart Cord Live. So you call us up, you get the cord, you take your cord out, put this cord in. It plugs in the same way. It's got the phone jack on the detector in, plugs into your accessory socket inside your vehicle. You're ready to go. You go up on the web. We'll be in the Apple iTunes Store and the Droid Marketplace. You download the app, do the install, and then it's going to have a subscription price. But the good news, again, is if you buy in 2011, the purchase of the cord is going to come with the subscription all the way through the end of 2012. So, you've got a detector, you're ready to go. Nothing more than that. Just replace the cord. Now, on the other side, if you're listening, you've been trying to decide whether or not to jump in on the Escort brand, or you don't have a radar detector, we've got some great initial price points with some value packages that include the new Smart Cord Live and Escort Live app with the purchase of any one of our radar detectors. So either way you go, it's an easy process to be up and in the network.
One of the other things that I wanted to ask about is I know, with being based on the cellular coverage for the system to work, what happens when you're traveling in an area that's quite desolate and you lose your cell signal? So does that disconnect you from the network, and how does your Escort handle being disconnected?
Yes, the Escort Live is the network depends on the cell phone network, so it's based entirely on the network itself. And if the network is not available, then Escort Live, of course, is not going to be able to data share because it is tied to the network. But there's some good news buried in that as well. And I would suggest that typically if you're going to be in an area where you're not receiving cell coverage, well, there probably aren't going to be a whole lot of officers in that area as well. So you're probably going to be covered.
Gotcha.
Meaning this, if the network's down, probably nobody out there anyway, and nobody's going to care. And you've seen the ads for the coverage of all the competitors where they're going back and forth talking about their coverage. Well, the good news there is those guys are getting better all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the cell coverage, you asked that question. It's a good question to be prepared about. But in reality, we typically don't see the network go down, at least where we live, where we drive, where we operate our vehicle.
Yeah, and even if you drop off of the network, so to speak, you still have the performance that's built into the unit and the database that is built into the unit, correct?
That's absolutely correct. So if you've got the 9500IX, you're still going to have the Defender database. Now, that kind of leads into another point, and I think you and I discussed this once before, but if you have a current or you purchase an Escort radar detector that does not have the GPS chipset for location awareness, and therefore does not have the accompanying ability to lock out false alerts, the great news with Escort Live is you will now have that capability with the X50 series radar detectors, the Redline radar detectors, and the GX and RX Pro series radar detectors on the Valtronic side. So when you're in the network, you will be able to have complete false alert rejection by simply locking out the false alert sources.
So this Escort Live basically upgraded some of these detectors that didn't have this capability.
That is an excellent point, dude. That's exactly correct.
Again, Ron Gividen, thank you very much from Escort. We appreciate all your support of the Porsche Club of America, and thank you for taking the time to be with us to give us the great announcement, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much, and to all of your listeners and everybody in the club, we appreciate having you.